Today is a special day. Today is my birthday. I'm celebrating my 42-year birthday here in Dubai. And as I reflect on the journey of my life, I can't help but think about all the lessons I have learned along the way. And if I could go back and talk to my younger self, the Amy in my 20s or in my 30s, there's so much advice I would actually share with her. And because my birthday falls on the 6th, let me share with you 6 life lessons that I wish I had known in my 20s and my 30s. And these lessons have been life-changing for me, and I hope they resonate with you too. Let's get into it. Lesson 1. Attend a personal development event in person, not just by reading books. You see, if I could give my younger self just one piece of advice, it would be this one. It would be starting investing in yourself sooner. In my 20s and my 30s, I felt lost. I had a good paying job at a bank. I worked Monday to Friday, and on the weekend, I would go out. And then comes Monday, life just repeats. Deep down inside, I felt something was missing. And I remember thinking, is this really it? Is this the rest of my life? I was doing all the right things. I had a job, good paying job, yet something was missing. And after a tough breakup at the age of 34, I realized just how broken I felt inside. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted in life. And a good friend of mine suggested that I checked out a personal development event in Southern California. And honestly, that was the turning point for me. For the first time in my life, I learned how to go from a victim mentality, thinking, why is this happening to me? To realizing that everything is happening for me. And I started to take control of my life. I've attended many events, and these events helped me to gain awareness of my limiting beliefs that had been holding me back. And I became aware of them so that I can change them. And if I had started this journey sooner, I could have found clarity much earlier, and I would have more successes in life earlier on in my 20s or early 30s. That's why I encourage everyone, do not wait until crisis to start making a change, and start to invest in yourself sooner. Remember, you are your biggest asset, so invest in your growth. And that leads us to my lesson number 2. While attending these personal development events is a great start, but it's not enough on its own. That's why my next lesson is invest in shortcuts. You know the saying, success leaves clues. Don't try to figure it out on your own. It will take you forever. Instead, what you want to do is invest in mentors and coaches who've already walked the path that you want to take. And if you're not able to invest in coaches and mentors at the moment, that's okay. Reach out to people who have already achieved success in the areas that you're passionate about. Take them out to lunch, listen to their stories, and learn how they think. They can provide guidance and tools that would take you years to figure out by yourself. You see, when I started my personal development journey, I became a seminar junkie. I would attend seminars, numerous seminars throughout the year. But I still felt like I was wandering aimlessly, trying to figure it out on my own. And my breakthrough didn't really happen until when I was 37. That's when I first met Bob Proctor. And Bob didn't just teach me about how to be successful in life. He taught me to study myself and the power of my mind. And since then, my life has completely transformed. I had a quantum leap in the past few years. I have manifested many things, which I've talked about in other videos. But the most important thing that Bob had taught me was to discover who I truly am. And which leads us to the lesson number 3. Lesson 3 is know thyself. You see, if you want to create a life that you love, all starts with knowing yourself. What do you love? What do you want? What brings you joy? What are your strengths? What lights you up? Take the time to find out. And it might take you the rest of your life to figure it out, because the truth is you're ever evolving. And you're not really who you think you are. You see, the concept that you hold of yourself dictates what manifests into your world. So if you think you're not smart, you're right. You think that you'll never be a millionaire, you're right. But the beautiful part of being a human is that we can change. We can rewire our identities and self-images at any time. In fact, there are multiple versions of yourself that exist right now. There's a version of you who is already a millionaire, living the life you want. All you need to do is to tune into that version of yourself. I did a separate video on that. Be sure to check it out. And since meeting Bob, I have upgraded my self-image 3 times. Each time when I did the upgrade, my results changed and my life completely changed. And when it comes to knowing yourself, if I could go back and talk to my younger self, younger Amy, I would tell her this. I would tell her to know your worth. You see, when I was younger, I had such a low self-worth growing up because I was the youngest growing up in the family, and I was often told to stay quiet. And I felt like I didn't have a voice. And my dad even called me 多多, which means the extra in the family in Mandarin. And that belief of low self-worth manifested in every area of my life. And because of that, I worked at a job that I hated for 7 years. I stayed in a toxic relationship for 6 years because I didn't think I was worthy of better things in my life. So I settled for a mediocre life. And it wasn't until I learned this one truth that I started to attract amazing opportunities into my life. The people and the money, wealth. And this statement is that I am a spiritual being living in a physical body with a mind. Just let that sink in for a bit. I'll say that again. I am a spiritual being living in this physical body with a mind. The truth is that we have infinite potential. So how do you put a price on something that's infinite? It's priceless, you see? You're not defined by what others say or what your achievements are. Your worth is priceless simply because of who you truly are, which is you are God's highest form of creation. That's the truth. And that leads us to the next lesson. And the fourth lesson is cultivate a relationship with the higher power. Speaking of God, this is something I wish I had explored earlier in life. You see, growing up, I wasn't exposed to any organized religion, and which gave me an open mind. But at the same time, I also avoided the concept of higher power altogether because I didn't understand. I was ignorant. I simply did not know. And for years, I couldn't even say the word God because I had misconceptions about what it meant. And it wasn't until actually the last couple of years that I started to study, I started to explore, that I began to cultivate a relationship with the higher power I call God. And this is not about religion. It's about truth. The truth will resonate with your soul. And when you connect with the higher power, you realize that you're always guided and that you're never alone. There's a force greater than you, guiding you and supporting you along your journey. And you are actually always co-creating with this higher power. So I think it's a good idea to get to know this power sooner rather than later. So I would tell my younger self to start having a relationship with this higher power, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it God, some people call it source or universe, right? Use whatever words resonates with you. All right, lesson 5, cherish your temple. And this is a big one for me. Take care of your body. You see, when I was younger, I didn't really cherish my body. I used to party a lot, I drank, and I mistreated my body. But everything changed after a powerful ayahuasca ceremony session where I felt my body being cleansed, literally. And as if it was my body telling me, thank you for finally taking care of me. And that was a wake-up call for me, honestly. And now I'm definitely more mindful of what I put into my body. I no longer drink, and I eat nourishing foods when I can. And I've developed a deep sense of gratitude for this vessel that carries me through this lifetime. And when I say vessel, the reason is because this concept that I mentioned earlier, that we are a spiritual being living in the physical body, this body that is temporary. And that I'm so glad that I had this realization now rather than later on in life, because who knows, there might have not even been a later if I didn't take care of my body now. So if you're watching this and if you're still in your 20s and 30s, please take care of your body. It's the only one you've got. And it doesn't matter how old you are, even if you're in your 40s, still do take care of your body. That leads us to lesson 6. Be open-minded and never stop studying. Finally, keep an open mind and embrace a lifelong commitment to learning. When I was younger, I was shy, I was reserved, and I was hesitant to explore anything outside of my comfort zone. And that's why after I attended the personal development events, it really opened me up to more possibilities of something that's outside of my awareness, something that's outside of my comfort zone. And I was open to ideas and concepts that I wasn't aware of before. And the more that I learn, the more I realize just how much I don't know. And that's why expanding your awareness and your consciousness is vital to your growth and to living the life that you want. And growth happens when you step outside your bubble. And just because something doesn't align with your current beliefs, don't reject that idea altogether. You owe it to yourself to see what's possible. If you don't try, you will never discover the opportunities that are waiting for you. And also, on that note, there is no such thing as failures. There's only things that you try that didn't work out, but it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It's like telling a kid that tries to walk and falls, and you would tell the kid that, hey, you will never walk again in your life. That's so silly to think, right? It's the same thing as when people think about failures. So be curious and explore new ideas and experiences, even the ones that feel unconventional or unfamiliar or scary to you. There you have it. So those are the 6 lessons that I will share with my younger self. And if you're in your 20s or your 30s, I hope these insights inspire you to start your journey now. Remember, it's never too late to create the life that you desire. And if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who might to hear this today. And here's to growth, transformation, and living your best life at any age. Cheers to 42.